Hello, it's the Archivist from tradingcardarchives.com. And as promised, we're going to look at some WWE cards today. I've got two really cool sets here to look at, but I've got something even better, uh, an expert, a real actual expert. Why don't you say hello, Zach?
Hello, I'm Zach. I have dedicated an embarrassing amount of my life to watching and studying professional wrestling. So I am, there's not really, you can't really like get a college degree in wrestling history.
But you'd have
But
it.
yeah, I mean, if it did exist, I would have it. I'm probably, in that way, an expert. Yes.
Actually, we should get in contact with Triple H. I'm sure he would love to start like a WWE college of some sort. That would be something he would do, right?
My understanding, and I don't want to get too much like on the inside baseball
Oh,
stuff. My
geez. No,
understanding
that's what
is
this is
that
all about.
most of the people who actually wrestle and like run the wrestling business don't like nerds like me that much because
Oh,
we take it way too seriously. So
okay. Well, it's supposed to be entertainment, right? Like that's what the E stands for,
yes,
isn't it?
we bring up too many things that will like if Triple H is befriending Kane these days, I would be like, but you guys don't like each other because 17 years ago you were in this, they would be like, no one's supposed to remember that stuff. We
Amazing.
kind of count on you having like a goldfish memory for this to work.
That's so cool. Okay, but before we get into these two boxes,
Yes,
I want to show kind of what cards are sort of my favorites right now today. This one I opened yesterday. This is actually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's an
sure.
SSP with like little gems embedded in the card and numbered to 888. So,
Oh,
Zach, do you know what like a numbered card is?
yes, I do.
Cool,
I
cool.
know a little bit about trading cards and this sort of stuff. I remember doing this with you a lot when we were younger.
Yeah, it's
Um,
been something I've loved my whole life. So, but I got really
yes.
back into it now. Probably too much, but whatever.
Ah,
This is the other one then. I did a big Star Wars event for Cards and Coffee this morning. And this card is just kind of unreal. This is to 200 from the pre-release set, Darth Maul. These sell for like $300 on eBay. So I was kind
wow.
of like, I almost died when I pulled this. So that's
That's a nice
crazy.
looking card for
Yeah.
sure. I don't know much about the rarity tiers and things like that, but Darth Maul is awesome, and that's an
Yeah, it's like
awesome
a cool
card of
character.
him.
And yeah, this is one of the rarest cards in the set. And yeah, so that was awesome. But we're here for
Would
WWE today. What do I have? I have this is like both Panini is the card publisher that owns the WWE license. They got it in 2022 from Topps. So Topps had it before then. So everything they made is called debut edition because it's like the first year they've had this license.
hmm,
This is their retail hobby product. So this is kind of like meant to be sold to kids at Target and stuff, right? This whole
hmm.
box is about, $70 or so. And that's the hobby box. That's like the highest cost version of that product. Whereas this is a blaster of their Prizm product, which is their high-end cards. And a hobby of this is like $400. So I didn't get that. The blasters are only like $30. So I got that. Uh, yeah, so should be really high-end cards. This is going to be like retail cards. I kind of want to look at both. I'm going to
Okay,
crack
I'm gonna
these
try not to
open.
ask too many questions that I feel like people watching this would probably know the answers to already.
No, go
Uh,
ahead and ask because I got to open these up now.
so you said uh, you had different words you kind of used to describe the packs, like jump packs and things like that. Is that just size, amount of cards in there?
Okay, so yeah, let me help you out with that. So in the hobby, we have kind of like two tiers of products that are made. Retail products, and
Hmm.
that's something that's meant to be sold in a Target or something like that. And typically, a retail product doesn't have limited print runs. And that means that like Panini could print this again and again and again, and you have no guarantee of how many cards are going to be out there in the wild, which affects the value. Whereas a hobby product will have limited cards, numbered cards, and things that you can sort of have more guarantees of what the print run's going to be. And then
Gotcha.
tiers is just cost. So this Revolution set is a very like low cost for Panini product. And so again, the cards in here, I don't know anything about them at all, but I don't think
Hmm.
they will sell for much unless we pull like some crazy. I don't know, like who would be the biggest superstar to get an autograph of or something right now?
Probably Roman Reigns. Um, John Cena, I think, is always going to be a big deal forever and ever.
Oh, that's this guy.
Yes, Roman
Oh,
Reigns, right
okay.
there.
Cool. So that
Uh,
makes sense then. Yeah.
yeah, he's been champion for longer than my son's been alive. So
Nice. All right. And this
he's
lady, Becky Lynch, I got a card from her out of that weird NXT set.
yeah,
So she
yep.
must be
She's
popular.
probably the a lot of it comes down to personal preference in some cases, but I would say she's probably like top 4 female wrestler in the world currently.
Oh, wow. Got some kind of, oh, that's a security tag. All right. So this is the Prism box. Again, these are kind of the higher end cards. Like people
Mm.
actually like these cards and will like sell them on eBay and stuff. Uh, this is the, yeah. So, okay, I want to open maybe 2 packs, but let's start with one. So let's pick which of these we're going to open. I'm going to put it in random quick and we'll roll some dice here.
Yeah,
We'll roll
roll a
three
d6.
times. Yeah. Oh, I don't have any music at all, but you can sing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. First roll is a 6, then a 2, and then a 1. So we'll start right there. So that'll be pack 1. Again, this is the higher end Prism product. I don't know if we can. Yeah, you're never going to be able to read that, but anyway, there's cool stuff in there probably.
If you had like a
And then
12K
this.
camera or something, we could probably.
Oh my God, how do you open this? These things are hilarious to me because Panini is like, this famous producer, but they're just copying this box.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
exactly the same box, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's just this is printed in China like everything else, I'm sure.
Sure.
Oh, there I go. I got it. Okay.
Oh, that's much less. Okay. That yeah. The box makes it look as though there is more cards in there than there actually is.
Yeah, precisely, right? But this is a hobby level product, which means the cards in each of these packs are probably like 4 or 5 times the cost of what a blaster level product would be of the
Mm,
same set.
gotcha.
And that's an odds thing. And that's going to be important because like this Prism pack, if this was a hobby Prism pack, this would cost like $20, just this one pack. And the chance of getting like an autograph would be really high. But because
Okay.
it's a blaster, this thing only costs $3. And the chance of getting an auto is very low.
Okay.
Possible, but really low. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, yeah. I think I blew all my luck on that Darth Maul, so I'm not expecting much. Maybe we'll get like a piece of someone's underwear or something in a relic.
Would you say uh on the Darth Maul card, would you say that
Yeah,
that is still to this day the character that got like the shortest of short changes in any Star Wars movie?
you got a little redemption in the Rebels series, right? But
Yes.
definitely did not. I mean, he was up against Liam Neeson. That's a tough one. And
Hmm.
yeah, so he had a tough role, but great actor. And from what I hear, still like loves the role and like still kind of goes to shows and things. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a okay. So we got to pick one of these. We got 8,
Mm.
so we'll just I've got the dice to 8 now. We'll roll 3 times again. Got a 2, a 1, and a 3. I guess the universe just hates all these packs. They probably have all the good stuff in them. Wait, what
There
was it?
you
It was
go.
a 3 at the end, so that's this one. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I got my video back. So what do you want to do first? I don't know. We're gonna open both. They look so
Um,
similar. Gold.
yeah, I don't know. The right hand one.
This guy? All right. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you it feels premium. Like this pack feels I'm not gonna talk too much about that, but yeah, this feels like better foil on this pack, to
Sure.
be honest. Like you can definitely tell. All right, let's see what we got in here, and hopefully we got something interesting. So tell me about Julius Creed.
I don't know anything about
Okay,
Julius
good.
Creed.
I think this RC means it's like a rookie of some type.
Yeah, that's probably. Oh, yeah. So that's an NXT 2.0 guy, which means he's probably very,
Yeah.
very new in the business, very young, hasn't had a lot of TV time yet. That name, Julius Creed, and his character may change from now to the time that he actually is on like what they call the main roster.
Okay.
Just because NXT is designed around you kind of having an opportunity to play to a really small crowd of people who like wrestling a lot and will let you know if what you're doing stinks or it is good,
And
and
then
then you
you
can
can
kind of
change or pivot or
yeah,
anything like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's nice. I'll
interesting.
tell you, the card is great. Like there's embossing all over here. You've got the obviously like the chrome on the outside, but I don't like this. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of damage to the surface.
Oh yeah, it's scratched almost.
That is rough, and it goes all the way through. So this must have got caught in a machine or something. But we'll put that over there for now. I mean, it looks cool. How about T-Bar?
Sure. So T-Bar,
Oh, this is a
that's
real
not a
person. Okay,
that is a real person. That one's probably not worth very much.
great.
Uh, T-Bar is part of a faction. So in wrestling, a group of wrestlers who are together for a common goal are called a faction.
Okay.
And he was part of a faction of people who had really, really dumb names, and they were um, pretty much mocked for those dumb names for a long
Excellent.
time. And then eventually they disbanded the faction, and everyone kind of moved along. So now he's called Dominic Dvorak.
Okay. So this is actually maybe rare because it has his old name on it then.
It could be, yeah. That is true. He is definitely not known as that anymore, as far as I know. Anyways, I think it was the Retribution was the faction they were in, so it was supposed to be a bunch of wrestlers who were like angry that they weren't getting used very much, like they weren't getting a lot of TV time.
Nice.
So it's basically like a union. It's an evil union of
Oh,
wrestlers, but they
and
all have
again,
like
like this
Final
card
Fight
is just
names.
awesome. This rope has emboss and foil on it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
really
like that's a
impressed by
nice
these.
touch. That's a nice touch. I do like that.
Uh,
Tiffany
this,
Stratton.
yeah, she must be popular, right?
She is hitting big now, I would say. I think. Do you know when these cards were printed?
Oh, they probably were printed in the very end of 20 to 21, if I had to guess. Might
Okay.
say on the back.
So she has gotten a lot bigger, I think, since this was probably
Oh, she's
since this
from
was printed out.
Minnesota.
Yes, she's from Prior Lake. She's actually from like a mile from where I live.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, awesome.
Yes.
The reason I mentioned she might be popular is because like I have open now. I did a couple of these while you weren't on video. Other ones
Hmm.
I have way too many WWE cards. Sorry, uh, but I saved these were the best two. I saved these for this because these were definitely the best two I have. But she has been in like every single pack I've opened. So I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah,
she must be popular.
you have to it changes a lot, and I haven't watched everything from the last couple weeks. I believe she currently is the NXT Women's Champion.
Oh,
So
cool.
she's
All right.
she's kind of first in line to come up to the main roster from a women's wrestler's perspective at the moment. Um, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's cool. It's
that's a real one. That's a good one.
awesome. And then this is going to be some type of insert. I didn't look up the odds or anything. This, if I, it's probably the lowest insert, or I wouldn't have pulled it.
Sure.
But what that means is you just like in a pack, sometimes they replace one of these base cards with something special.
Okay.
So what is Riddle? Is
As
this
Matt
Riddle?
Riddle,
Okay,
uh, and he fights barefoot. He's a
nice.
MMA
That's kind of
guy.
gross.
Yeah, it is super gross actually.
Okay.
And he's a massive stoner, so he likes to talk. He talks like he actually talks like this in real life too, but he kind of talks like a surfer dude version of Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
So he likes to have a lot of weed references in things that he does, but he's also like I think in actual real life he is an exceptionally dangerous human being in terms of his skill sets in fighting.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So like an
so
actual serious athlete too. I mean, he
yes,
looks
yeah,
really
he's
strong.
like a really good MMA fighter, I think. So as far as I know, it's kind of like he's like a funny stoner guy who can then twist you into like a pretzel if he really wanted to.
Oh, that might explain the bare feet to those MMA folks. They love to.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, everyone listening, go look up his theme song and listen to it because it's pretty much just him going, "Bro,
That sounds
bro,
great. Okay. Wow.
bro."
Uh, and the card looks great. I mean,
Yeah, it's
again, I
cool.
don't know this insert set, but it looks really cool.
So there's a certain amount of inserts in like available in the whole if you got all the cards in that existed, there'd be a certain number of those.
Yeah, no. This would not be numbered at all, but
Oh, okay,
it's
okay,
not. It's more just random, and they'll be a little more rare than the base set. I'll
gotcha.
look it up afterwards, but I mean, someone watching the video is probably freaking out and telling me it's $1,000 card, but that's not $1,000 card. There's no way. Uh, although it sounds really cool for what you just described. Like if I liked a wrestler, that would that would sounds great.
Yeah, yeah, he's fun. He's a lot of fun. He
Yeah,
was
at
in a
least you're
tag
not.
team with a guy named Randy Orton, and they were called RK Bro.
Cool. Well, we're at 15 minutes, so
That
let's
is cool.
grab another one here. So this is now Revolution.
Mm.
Uh, this is a UFC fighter, isn't she?
Yes. So Ronda Rousey became a pro wrestler, I'm going to say around 2018 or so, after she kind of had her, she
Oh,
lost her title and then she came back in MMA and she kind of lost again. And then she sort of probably wasn't really and I mean, whatever, she could still murder me in 3 seconds, but a little
of
too
course.
old, I think, to be like an MMA fighter anymore.
I kind of get you. Okay.
So
All
she
right.
switched
So
over to pro wrestling because has a deep love of pro wrestling in real life. So
she looked very tough. Okay,
yeah,
so we'll go through these. Wow, that looks wild. Holy crap.
that's a nice looking card. I mean, I just mean like not I'm not being weird on the lady or anything, but like the background on it, I really like. I'm a big fan of that. That's the kind of the
Yeah,
classic
that's what I was saying. This
WWE.
design looks crazy.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of the
think this is
classic
just the
WWE
base
logo.
design. Here,
Got
let's.
the
Oh, well, why don't you tell me about Nikki and then we can look and see the others.
Well, and Nikki Bella is she's not actually Nikki Bella anymore. She doesn't actually so I get a little again a little in the weeds on this, but when you show up in WWE or wrestling in general, they give you a new name, and that's more or less because they want to be able to trademark it and own it, right? They don't want you to be able to build a brand and then go somewhere else.
Got
Um,
it.
so she has a twin sister named Brie, and they were the Bella twins. And then she had a lot of neck problems and had to leave. But her and Nikki became very popular on social media. They got their own reality TV show called
Wow.
The Bellas that actually was a spinoff of another reality show called Total Divas, which was about
Oh, okay. So that's what
WWE.
they're talking about here.
Yep. And she was engaged to John Cena for a couple of years, but they ended up not
Wow.
getting married.
All right. I
And
actually
now
have a John Cena card somewhere. Maybe we'll pull another
yeah,
one. It was
she's
weird
married
though.
to Artem. I'm not even going to try on the last name, but he's a Dancing with the Stars guy. And she's
Cool.
great. She's really great. She's a fantastic pro wrestler. I'll probably get a lot of crap for saying that, but she really is. And yeah, that's a cool card. I like it. I like that
Yeah,
classic
I'll have
logo
to
too.
look because these look different now, so I don't know if that's a special treatment or if this is a special treatment. I
Sure,
don't know this set at all, but they all
sure.
look cool. So who's this old man?
Tommaso Ciampa. He is fantastic. He's one of my favorites. He is
He looks
a
fun.
very scary man. He's probably not actually scary, but the character he plays is very scary. Of just like a cold-hearted killer, basically. And
Wow.
I don't know if he's had a carb ever in life. So he's just abs on abs. Um,
Yeah, obviously this guy is ripped. Yeah.
yes, I think he's not actually that old, but he's got that crazy. He's from Wisconsin, I believe, so he's got a
Yeah,
crazy Wisconsin
Milwaukee it
beard.
says.
Yeah. And he's been NXT champion many times. I think he came up to the main roster for a little bit. He might have gone back down to NXT. He had a lot of neck problems that kind of sidelined him for a while.
That's common, I
Um,
guess, huh?
yes, yeah, falling on your head a lot is not good for your neck, as it turns out.
Nice.
But
So
he's
this one
he's really good.
is
I
yeah.
don't know if I call that rare or anything. I mean, he's a pretty big name wrestler, but I mean, he's great. He's one that I think people would like to have.
Yeah, and this is what they call a parallel. So that must be the base, and this is a fractal parallel.
Okay.
And the only reason
Number
I know that is because
99?
Panini prints their parallel name here. So
Huh.
that just
Cool.
means you can find the same image with that background, but this background is a little more rare.
Okay.
Yeah. All
I
right,
love
let's
it.
see what these all look kind of crazy, but here we go. Uh, oh,
Yeah,
this
so
is,
there's
oh, we
Ronda
were just
Rousey.
talking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is the baddest woman on the planet. I think is her like wrestling name, whatever thing they give you. Her big thing. She's a big fan of a guy named Roddy Piper.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay, I remember that name. Yeah.
yep. And so she went by kind of Rowdy Rhonda. And he actually gifted her his jacket to wear to the ring before he passed away.
Oh, that's so
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And she's
she's
from
good.
down the street,
Yeah, I
Venice.
was gonna say.
I'll look out when
I
I'm down there.
Yeah. Don't look up her well, yeah, I mean she's good. She kind of rocketed to the moon right away, and that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in terms of wrestling's weird, and like if you didn't
Sure.
take 30 years off of your body working for hot dogs, they don't respect you in the same way as if you just came in and got to wrestle right away. But she got to come in and wrestle right away because she's very famous.
I get it.
So
Sure. You didn't come up, so you didn't earn it, sort of.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't kill yourself earning it.
Yeah.
I'm doing finger quotes.
Well, that's cool. I love how they all have different background designs.
Yeah, I like the
Honestly,
background design on the cards.
they're so cool looking. This is the cheaper retail product.
Sure,
But I guess they want these to look regal or maybe something like
sure.
that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. So my thing with these ones is on the other cards with all of the I'm gonna I'm gonna say UI, which isn't it actually accurate in this case, but all the stuff around it, the
Yeah,
actual image of the wrestler is much smaller. I like that it's they're kind of front and center on this batch of cards we're opening now.
exactly. Yeah, these yeah, they're kind of like set in there. We call that the frame, and
Okay,
it's like a
frame.
very thick frame and there's not much image. Yeah.
Sure. So
Yeah, crazy. Who
this
is
is
it?
my boy. This is
Oh,
Kevin
you know this
Owens.
one.
Ah, I love
They're
this guy. He
back.
is
Oh,
oh
I
yeah.
love it.
Yes.
Oh, Kate Claw,
I
of course they're dangerous.
he is I was him for Halloween because he's just kind of like an overweight Canadian dad, which is basically me. So um
That's amazing.
yeah, I really like him. He is it's hard to describe. He's not really like he actually probably looks better in this than he even has for a while, but he's not really like a fitness guy in the
Okay.
way that like Tommaso Ciampa would be, but he's just kind of naturally strong and big. So he doesn't look as much like a super athlete, but he can just do these insane moves in the ring. He can do all these crazy flips and he can do all these power
Wow.
moves.
That
And
must be terrifying to see that kind of a size just flipping around.
yeah, he's got a move called the cannonball where he just runs at you and then does a flip and slams his butt into your face. And I bet you that really sucks.
Wow. Yeah.
But
Crazy.
he fun story about him. He's from Quebec, not an English speaker. So
Right?
growing up, he learned how to speak English by listening to Stone Cold Steve Austin talk.
That's a
And cutting
winning strategy, isn't it?
yeah, and cutting promos, which is the wrestling term for when they talk.
Yep.
Um, and so he's a really good talker. He has this kind of weird bastardized, English Canadian that he speaks, but he's a really good talker. And he just like never shuts up. He's even when he's wrestling, he's just always yelling something at somebody, and I really like him.
Yeah, it says here he went on a wild anti-Texas tirade.
There you
Do you know
go.
about that?
I do. They were doing WrestleMania in Texas, and so in wrestling they're called a good guy is called a face, a baby face, and then a bad
Okay.
guy is called a heel.
All right.
And he was a heel at the time, so he was every week just talking about how much he hates Texas, to get people in Texas mad. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin showed up, and they had a match. And
That
because
sounds like yeah, that's cool.
Steve
Okay.
Austin is Mr. Texas, so that was kind of the getting those two to wrestle each other in that way.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a dream
Again,
come true for him, I'm sure.
great looking card. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Okay, we got one more to look at, and
Sure, sure.
I don't know. This is weird again, but
Sure. So that's
you know what
Dominic
that is?
Mysterio. Yes. You may remember a guy named Rey Mysterio Jr., a luchador Mexican wrestler with a mask.
Maybe.
Um,
Okay, so that's the boots and stuff. I kind of get it. Yeah.
and that's his son, who is a
Okay.
pro wrestler now. And he is in a faction called
We might say here.
End of Days, Wasteland.
Oh, it doesn't say on the back.
Something really cool. It's got a really cool name that I can't remember.
Nice.
But he's kind of, there's a wrestler named Rhea Ripley who is an Australian kind of very muscly lady that everyone calls mommy. And she's like kind of his dom.
Oh, okay, got
She's
you.
like
That's
his mommy
fun.
dom.
Yep, sure.
Yes, it's fun. That's for the family.
Yep.
It's
Wonderful.
TV
You know,
14.
yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. I think we probably don't have time to do more, but I honestly really enjoyed it. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's cool to learn that they're like real, actually matter for once. Most of the things I
Yeah,
open here don't matter at all to anyone. So,
right. You know, wrestling is a weird thing in that you kind of latch on to some people. The thing that I will always say to anybody, and the reason, like my wife when she watches wrestling with me, the actual part where they're doing uh, fake, for lack of a better term, moves in the ring isn't really that interesting to her. But all the other stuff about who they are in real life and all these weird storylines that have happened over the years and things
sure.
like that, that's more the interesting part. To if you are out there thinking about getting into wrestling, that's actually probably more interesting than in a lot of cases the matches themselves. I like wrestling matches, but it's a very particular thing on what makes a good one or a bad one.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I mean, I enjoyed this a lot. Hopefully, we can do it again sometime. I know
For sure,
scheduling
yeah.
is always rough, but I will save some of these cards. I will not open them all. I promise that. And yeah, next time we can look at some more. Cool.
Fantastic. Well,
All
thanks
right.
for
Well,
having
thanks a
me.
lot, Zach.
Have a nice day, everybody.
Yeah.